my entire summary of my entire engineering experience was I managed to make a gadget where you clapped and the garbage opened, the garbage can opened. And I looked at that and I said, this is the sum of my engineering achievements. But I will say that I worked in a small town called Lachine. It's outside in Montreal. And I was there for many years, and I didn't know it, but Ernest and I were about a mile away from each other, and we had never linked up. And it was only after a reunion that it was a reunion that got us together, which is amazing.
Yeah. And we were sharing that we both had done a bit of a detour through the textile industry.
That's true.
Prior to doing our engineering. Now, for your clapping device, I did something a little bit more mischievous. I had a water pick machine in the bathroom.
Yes.
And I would clap, and whoever was sitting on the toilet would get sprayed.
Good. Okay. I think you're a little bit of a prankster, like I was.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You both have had incredible careers. How much do you think influence did going to Whittinghame have over your choice of career?
Well, I think first of all, Whittinghame was extremely strong academically. When my parents immigrated to Canada, I had 3 times the entrance requirements for McGill, which is the university there, because we wrote the O-levels at Cambridge, London, and Oxford. I remember it was quite a long, one exam after another. And some of the teachers, Mr. Smith, was very good at being able to forecast what questions will come up. He had something called, spots, the 10 questions that may come up, and then hot spots, and we kind of cut that even less to, because all you needed was three questions and you've passed. So you could just gamble on which ones will come up, and do those thoroughly, and that got us through school.
I think we were very competitive in if somebody had 5 O-levels, you had to have 6, or if somebody took 3 A-levels, you had to 4, so there was a very strong sense of competition amongst us, and I mean, even there were some kids who wouldn't get past their name on an IQ test, but they had to get their O-levels if the others would too, and some of them did, and I think that distinguished the school from some of the other schools. And I will say that if you talk about culture shock, I think the new staff that were hired, they had the largest. It made the largest impact on them because it was just a different school. It just had its own standards.
Yes. And there were academic prizes given. There was some speech day.
Oh, that was festival day.
Yes, festival day.
Okay, so we were divided in 4 houses, green, white, blue, and red, and they were also named after Israeli figures. Herzl, Balfour was blue. And it's funny because at these reunions you can still tell who was in which house and who was in your White House. And again, there was this competitive spirit, and this went through soccer matches, cross-country running, athletics, and the festival. And the festival was the academic side of that. And they listed a bunch of projects which you couldn't complete in one day, such as movie making. There was an architectural project where you went. They named some. I think there was one year it was one room in the pavilion, and you had to go there and measure up the pavilion room and produce an architectural drawing. So these things and all of these projects culminated they all were completed for the festival, and each house was judged upon it, and certain projects had more points than others.
Yeah. I remember one project in particular we had to do. We had to make with paper mache a topography model of Japan, of the whole country, including the mountains, the size of this table. And that took us quite a long time to go, to study the different, there was no 3D facilities at that time, so we had to look at drawings and look at the height of the mountains and slowly build this paper mache model.
I remember one year a friend of mine, we won the film prize because you was each, and none of us knew anything about filmmaking, but we had our 8mm camera, and our theme was the life and death of a book, school book, and we wrote the script. And I remember sitting in one of the rooms downstairs, and we hung a laundry line across the room. We had all these little clips with little notes attached to what part of the scene was in. And then we put the whole thing together. And we won because we cheated, because we added sound to it, so we invented the talkies there. And there was a lot of protests from the other houses that this wasn't fair, but such was the competition. So, and during the festival day itself, there was poetry reading, and if the way it went was, if you could think of a competition and it was a valid one, they would put it on the list, and then of course the other houses would have to compete. So there were 15-minute plays, and these are things that really bonded us, and especially that small group, even within the school itself.